Hey y'all! So today I'm going to go through, on today's video, we're going to show you how we do everything with our first grade stuff. Me taking all the workbook pages and tearing them out, to organizing them with a file folder system like Kristi Clover has that I kind of tweaked and adjusted for the way that Abeka does things. And then the desk tour of just how I set up, how we use our Ikea Alex drawers for using the hybrid way that we're doing school this year with Abeka. We are using Abeka Academy, and I'm teaching some. So I'll show you in that video exactly how we set everything up. So how we're going to work first grade for us with me and my son this year. So I hope you enjoy it. Please comment below, ask any questions. You can like the video, subscribe to our channel, and would love for you to follow us on Instagram at Farmhouse of Blessings. And so if you have any questions, just let us know, and hope you enjoy the video. Thanks. Bye. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how I organize our worksheets for Abeka. I got the idea from Kristi Clover at Raising Clovers. She does a file folder for each lesson for the entire curriculum. I actually did that, set out and did it, but I had a little bit of a issue because Abeka is different, I guess, from other curriculums. I don't know. I'm not sure because we've never used another curriculum. But what I noticed is that they do, like lesson 1 and 2 use one sheet of paper. So lesson 1's on one side, lesson 2's on the other. And they do that for pretty much almost all the subjects. And so there were some subjects that there was a paper, that they would need to use for the next day. And then I would find file folders that only had like one paper in them. And I was thinking, this is a waste. And so what I did is I went back through and I combined and did 2 lessons per folder, because it's always the odd number first, so lesson 1 and 2, and lesson 1 and 2 used all of the same papers for the front and the back. It never crossed over. So once you were done with that folder, then you can move on to lessons 3, 4, and 5, 6, and so on. And so I changed it up a little bit, and I ran out of folders. But the way that Kristi says to do it is you get all of them where they're all on the same side. But I needed 5 different colors, and the pack came and it separated them like this. And I said, that's fine as long as they're color coordinated, because each of my kids has a color that is their color for most things. Like we have a set from Replay that's their plates and bowls and cups, and they each have their own color. When I buy like just random things like bubble wands, they each get their color if it's there in stock. So this was fine. The blue folders, I'll know that these are for my first grader. And then back here you can see I have the green folders for my K4 little guy that I'm going to be separating. And these are the unbound. I bought these unbound. I talked about that in an earlier video of how you can get them unbound now. So then I don't have to rip out. I had to rip out all of these, which y'all saw in the video as I was ripping for, it seemed like hours. But anyway, so here is lesson 1 and 2. So we ripped out every single subject's worth of work. So language, letters and sounds, writing, spelling, test, quizzes. Well, they don't have quizzes in the first grade. Tests, art projects, speed drills, everything that's in a notebook or in a workbook was ripped out and put in here. So what I'll do is I will pull out everything for lesson 1, and I will put it in his special drawers for his Workbox drawers that I explain in my desk tour. And then I'll leave lesson 2 in here. At the end of the day, I switch out, if there's the back page that needs to go for the next day, I put that, flip that over for lesson 2, and pull out of here whatever was left that didn't get used the day before. And then what Kristi recommends is once you're done with that file and it's empty, then you just put it at the back of your file folder system. So that is what I did and how I used Abeka's worksheets because of the way that they, do 2 lessons per page. So that saved on file folders. I didn't have to buy 170 file folders. And then it made it where I can keep up with it better and it's not wasting a folder. So anyway, if you have any questions about that, let me know and I will show you how I use it in my desk tour. Okay, so this is our first grade setup. I'm just going to continue showing you how I set everything up, and I went ahead and skipped to lesson 25 with what I'm going to show you. So because it's a little bit meatier than the very beginning of the year when there's like not a lot going on and they're really just working their way through everything. So so I have mentioned that we are doing a hybrid this year. I am teaching language, reading, language and phonics, reading, spelling, and writing. And then we're doing the streaming for Bible, math, and history, the community helpers in science and health. So what I'm going to show you here is just how we've got his desk set up. Okay, so this is his little caddy, and I can do the link. I got this from Confessions of a Homeschooler. She uses these, and my kids absolutely love them. As things progress, I'm sure it will get a lot more junkier in here with lots of little things prizes that they win and things that they have. So this is just his crayons, his scissors, pencil, stick-it note mostly for me, and then erasers. And then in here will be his Bible as well that he'll use during Bible time. And then, so I have this side of of his desk set up. So for his things that he will do, in a sense, independent. Independent meaning he does the DVDs or the streaming, Abeka Academy, for these subjects. And then his seat work drawer is here. And so the second drawer is math. This is his math sheet for lesson 25 is speed drill. And then this is just the teacher text to check to see. I'll just keep it with his math stuff because if I put it all in my drawers, then they kind of get heavy and bogged down. So I kind of split them up a little bit. And then this drawer is where his history workbook is, and then his other ones that he'll get to throughout the year. And then this is where he'll do his art lessons. He'll do his art lessons, and then this is his speed drill set of things that he needs to do. I write out each thing that they need to do, and we do not do everything in seat work. I know that is a source of controversy sometimes with Abeka is, why do we have to do all the seat work? We don't do all the seat work. If he's struggling with something, then we do it. If there's things that he's working through or it's a lot, we just skip it. They are so repetitive with everything. I know that he will get it. If he doesn't get it in this Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, he'll get it Thursday or Friday. So we work on, writing like his name, like I have down there, and then the seat work pages, because those can be done taking him in the car to go eat lunch with daddy, or sitting outside playing and working on it. So we do keep up with those because I think those are good to have, and just I think gives a lot of information without having to write so much. So and then these are his papers under here, under his seat work information for lesson 25 that he'll have to do. So his letters and sounds, and then language, and then also in his math, one side is for seat work. So he'll do that, And then, so we'll show that, and he'll put that in his seat work folder when he's done with his math lesson. So, and then over here, the top drawer is language arts. So this is where it's really just language and letters and sounds, phonics. These are the cards that we'll be using for that day for lesson 25. These are the charts that we're using, and I'll show you here. I either laminate or put all of our charts and cards in a like a protective sheet. I'm going to be using these for 5 boys, and I don't want to have to rebuy them, so I'm trying to preserve them as well as I can. I rebought everything for this year, starting with him, because I know I will use it for the next 6 years. For each, for 6 years straight, I'll keep using them, but actually it's going to be, for a lot longer than that, because you use them through 3rd grade. So I have these, and I put them in a 3-ring binder in the protective coverings, and then in the 3-ring binder to keep up with them. So I have these here, and I pull them out each day that I'll use them. So this is the one with the special sounds, and it has the special words on the back with the special sounds. So, and then the blend cards, or the CVC cards, or whatever it's called for that day, I put in this box right here. And what I do is I look up what we're going to use for the whole week and put them in here, because you kind of go back and forth and use them throughout the week, and then you kind of add to them or take away, take some, and once you get done with those, then you add to it. So this is a nice little box. I know people use rubber bands, whatever floats your boat, but I like the little box so I can keep up with them. And then this has my curriculum lesson plan book in it, the note cards, and then I'll have the charts here. And so that'll be, and sometimes there's a page, most of the time it's just for seat work, but then we'll do our lesson, and then we'll go on to the next. And so this is just for language and phonics, just teaching what that lesson is for the day. And then the second one here is writing. I have our the flashcard, the cursive flashcard, the chart here. This is another thing. This is laminated, and it has the lowercase and the full alphabet, and then the lowercase on the other side. I keep that in there. And then in the back, we have the writing tablet that you use throughout the year. I get 2 or 3 of those for the whole year. And then this is the writing page that we'll work through. And I actually I'll have to show it, I guess, in another short video of how I do cursive, teaching cursive. I actually use like a really big sheet of paper that has lines on it, and work through that. And I use that with my daughter, and it worked really well because it was larger. It was like doing it on a whiteboard or a chalkboard, but I could go ahead and have it written out the night before, so I didn't have to write it on, and I didn't have to worry about anybody erasing it accidentally on the board. So I'll do another video on that, hopefully, so y'all can see how I set that up. And then this is spelling. This is the poem that's being worked on in lesson 25. And then this is the spelling list. And then for lesson 24, they're supposed to do the this for homework and stuff. So that's why that's still covered. That's still blank. But anyway, so this is what we'll be going over. And then this is reading. I use the curriculum book that's up here for reading because it's all in the same, but then these are the books that he will read out of. Fun with Pets and Handbook for Reading. And then this just keeps our extra, the keys. And then it is cheaper to buy the whole parent kit, so I went ahead and did that for arithmetic, and then the reading stuff, and for all of I went ahead and bought the whole set, just because I don't know, for 1st grade for my other kids, I might teach them and not do the streaming with Abeka Academy. So I wanted to have that all in one set. So I went ahead and bought those. And then that just holds my keys and stuff there for checking stuff. So I hope this was helpful just to kind of show how I break it up. So one thing that I will say is that when we, here, I'll do a pretty picture while I talk. While we will do a hybrid, like I said. So things are going to be a little different. So my plan and the goal is that when we do the first grade, there will be times where I will set up our schedule where I'll say, okay, you need to go do Bible. When you're done with Bible, come get me. And while, he's doing Bible and his little brother's watching with him, then I'll be, trying to get the twins a nap. And so we're kind of doing a workbox system. If you're familiar with workbox system, Confessions of a Homeschooler, Erica at Confessions of a Homeschooler has a really great video on how she sets that up. But this is kind of how I'm doing that. So each drawer is kind of a set thing, and so you work through each drawer. And one thing that I haven't set up yet that I will is I'm going to set up games or manipulatives or flashcards or file folders, things like that in these drawers. So if for some reason I am fighting with a baby, or I am, fighting to get down a baby, or working with my 6th grade daughter on something, I can say, hey, I'll be in there in a couple minutes, but can you go ahead and start, working with this, chart, or working with this game in your phonics drawer. And so he can be sitting there, not getting into trouble with his younger brothers or anything, and he can have something to do, and then I can come in, we can teach from that drawer or that lesson, and then he can bounce to another one, because he's only doing 3 lessons on the academy, so that's not going to take up his whole day. So I'm going to have something for him to do while he's waiting on me, because as you know, life happens. You don't always get to you're not always able to get to a child right when they need it. And you don't want them, getting off track and getting out of the school mode, because that happens so much where, they're in the school mode, they need help, and you're not available, and so they run and go do something else, and they get out of the school mode, and, okay, maybe I'm the only one that happens to. I don't know, maybe not. So this helps to kind of keep him, he knows what's at his desk. I can say, go to your spelling drawer and start spelling out your words in tiles and work on those. And so that's helping him with his spelling. It's keeping his hands busy, and he's actually working. So that day we might not go over spelling words because he sat down for 10 or 15 minutes and worked on spelling words with his tiles. So that's just another way that we'll use these drawer systems, kind of like Workboxes, kind of hybrid with the academy, and then me teaching, and kind of hopefully we can just work off and just work with everything that life has to throw at us that day.